Good morning, everyone. It is Monday. Time for another live video. We are doing this little Nissan. I think it's a Sentra. Let me make sure. Yep, Sentra. And it's pretty dirty. So we're doing our full detail, and we're going to show you guys the exterior of this because there's a lot of areas here that most people miss or they don't know how to clean. So we're going to show you guys how we do it in our business. Before we get started, let me take you off the tripod and show you around. So here we have a lot of grossness in all the door jambs, the trunk lid area, and this vehicle did sit for a while. It has the CVT transmission that went out on the customers and they had to have it fixed, and it sat for a while. So all these areas are dirty. And many times, you know, people don't know how to clean these areas. They're sometimes afraid. They're afraid of the gas cap area. They don't really know how to clean the back area there and the engine compartment. So we're going to show you guys how we do engine compartments, and I will give you some tips as a professional detailer. If you're doing this as a business, what to look out for when you are detailing engines, or I shouldn't really say detailing, but I should say cleaning engine bays, because we don't really detail them that much. We don't go into the engine bay and get into all of the areas that are hard to reach because of liability. And I'll talk about that in a moment, and how we actually discuss this with the customer to basically eliminate liability on our end. So this is very important to do if you are a detailing business. So lots of junk here to clean. Your typical mats. Interior is not horrible. I don't know how much we'll show of the interior, but we'll definitely show the exterior work being done. Door jambs really aren't too bad, but we're going to degrease them and clean them anyway. And to get started, what Wifey has already done is pre-treated some of these areas with a degreaser. Super clean. We just have super clean diluted in our bottles. And we go ahead and use a brush and just agitate just to get all the tough stuff loosened up. And then you'll see when we pressure wash it, we use the pressure washer wand, the gun, the little stubby gun that we have, kind of like a blade. And we get into these tight areas really well. Some water gets in here, but it's okay. We're going to be cleaning this anyway. That's why we like to do the exterior first. So we'll brush all of that, and then we will pressure wash it all out. And we usually do put some sort of a sealant or something in there as well. So we'll wipe down all of the jams. And oh yeah, so first from Puerto Rico, Humberto. Oh yeah, you can just use a garden hose. You don't have to use a pressure washer. We just prefer it because it's faster for us and we have it out anyway. So we just go ahead and clean it all. And our pressure washer isn't so high pressure. It's only about 1,000 psi. So, you know, it's not going to cause damage at all, unless of course you're going straight up to paint or something, or you have the wrong tip on it and you're going right up to the paint directly. That can cause some issues. But let me show you what I mean.
Do you want to spray this down?
In a minute. Yep, in a minute. Let me just do the back end here first and show the peoples. So here we have this nozzle here I got from Car Supply's warehouse. A lot of people ask about this. It's just a rubberized tip, and it kind of protects the vehicle, you know, if you get too close or whatever, but it's sitting about 3/4 of an inch inside here. But also, if by chance this thing shoots off, the rubber tip is going to hit the paint. I've actually had tips hit the paint before and damage it, and I know a few others who have also. So it's also a 25-degree angle, not the 40, but the 25. So a little bit of a steeper angle we're going with here. And this is how we do door jambs and trunk lid areas. Start outside of the vehicle, work your way in. Oh, and I just noticed that this is leaking, and it's because the rubber gasket in here is probably broken. Yeah. So when it's leaking from the tip like this, between you know, the quick connects, means there's a gasket in there that has blown. It's damaged. So I have plenty of gaskets. You can get those really cheap. And we like to do the door jambs first because it makes the rest of the vehicle all messy. And the letters are missing from the Sentra here, so, you know, it's got some wear and tear. It's got some damage going on here. Let's do the engine bay. I'll show you the gas cap in just a moment. But the engine bay, we're going to degrease using Super Clean and the IK foamer. It's diluted like, I think I put a little bit of a stronger solution in there, like 1:4 this time, just to make it a little bit stronger and let that dwell in there. And I'm going to go get a gasket to fix this gun, because it's getting to be annoying. And it is a beautiful Monday morning. It is a little chilly. Okay, I think this is the right size gasket. So just these little round gaskets, and you do need like a little pokey tool. And you just gently go into the end of your nozzle. Careful not to blast your face with water, which I have done in the past. This little pokey tool might not be the right pokey tool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that gasket was on its way out. It just kind of fell apart, so it kind of rots away in there and falls apart. I'll show you the little end here that got damaged. So once these little gaskets get damaged, they're done. Okay, good, same size. I'll just chuck that over there. And you just put the new one in, and it takes a little bit to get it into place, but use that little tool carefully to push it into place. And actually, it's probably better if I don't use this pokey tool because it's too sharp, and it'll probably damage it again. So let me get something else. Something that is not so pokey. So something like this, some sort of small tool that can get in there and push the gasket into place.
I'm just brushing out a little areas here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So while I'm doing this, wifey is hitting the engine bay with the brushes. Okay. I think that's in place now. Quick repair, in the field repair. No leaking. Good as new. All right, cool. Everything's all brushed. So now we'll just pressure wash it all out. And again, you don't want to get too close, but just use caution. If you're working on an older vehicle and you have sensitive areas, don't worry about the battery, but fuse box, make sure the fuse box, that the cap on that is nice and tight and sealed. And then after we're done, we're going to start the vehicle anyway, and it will dry up, and we'll also address all the plastics. Now, as far as getting this, fire resistant material wet, it's okay. It'll take a while to dry, but once the car is on and warming up, it'll be fine. It'll dry and not cause any problems. Have these little stupid foam pieces here that will pop right off. Such a bad design. Now with engine bays, I have them either opt in or opt out on our customer acknowledgement form. So this is a part of the form that they have to sign and say, yes, clean my engine. I accept, any responsibility or whatever for there being any issues. You need to know your car. So don't have someone clean your engine if you don't know your own car. And if you already have lights on the dash or issues going on, then tell your detailer not to do this. And you should ask your customer too. Do you have any issues going on with your car, with the engine, any lights on, any problems? And if the customer says yes, then say, I would prefer not to touch the engine bay, even though they want it cleaned. That's a conversation you have with your own customer, and just communicate well with it, or with them, excuse me. But everything in here is looking nice now. Everything was agitated. And again, I'm not going deep into the engine. It's not necessary. I just want to get all the top surfaces that you can see cleaned. Oh yeah, another cool thing about this pressure washer is you can turn down the pressure if you want. This is the AR Blue 630. So it has a big knob in the top. You can actually turn that pressure down, and if you're concerned about using a pressure washer because of the pressure, and again, at about a foot away, it's a strong surge of water, but it's not by any means 1,000 PSI, at your hand at that level. It's not bad at all. So keeping it 2 feet away, it's just like a nice heavy shower. So it's not causing any damage at all. But we are going to use 303 aerospace protectant. This stuff, I made my own label on the bottle, but it's 303. Well known in the detailing community. Not a lot of people use it that much, or at least I don't see a lot of people using it, but it's awesome for plastics on engine bays, and actually plastics or leathers everywhere in the vehicle. Door jamb, rubber seals, inside leather seats, dash, everything. It's used for boats. So if it's good enough for boats, it's good enough for cars. So we'll let that sit in there, and then we'll detail the rest of the car. And then when we're doing the interior, we turn it on and it'll dry everything in there also. You can blow dry it if you want also. That's another option. So if you're a mobile guy, we used to just turn the car on and let everything dry in there. All right, yeah, we need to do a full APC rinse on this beast. Oh, you degreased the gas cap, right?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet? Okay, here. I'm gonna bring this over here so you guys can see. Wifey is going to be doing all of the APCing. Again, it's the same solution. It's just super clean, diluted 1 to 4. Pretty strong this time. Usually it's 1 to 10, but for some dirtier vehicles, I'll do a little bit more. And she already did the door jambs, so we can actually rinse out the door jambs. We've let them dwell in there long enough. But again, using your pressure washer gun like a blade, very controlled, not making a lot of mess in the in the vehicle at all. A little bit of water. Do we even need to agitate this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. Cool. All right, I'll do the door jambs on the other side. And I'll answer any questions you have in a moment when we have a moment to stop. Nice. All right, I'm going to do the top here. I also make sure to get into these seams because there's a lot of junk in there too. Wow, that looks awesome. There's some staining here that I don't think will come. You do have to get in there with like a polish and hand polish it out, but even that sometimes doesn't always work. I also pull out the door handles just a little bit, not enough to open the door, usually not enough to open the door, but just enough. But if you want to, pull the handle out like that, like you're opening the door, and blast in there, and it cleans out all that junk. It's an area that's often forgotten. Taking note of any damage. We have some damage in the front bumper. The chrome piece is all cracked in the front. And you just want to make note of any of that type of damage. We already went over the vehicle with the customer, so I'm not concerned about that. All right, wifey will foam everything down. I'm going to close that. And pre-washing is done. So that's our pre-washing process. And that can go pretty quick also. Oh, so the boots I'm wearing are actually Brunt boots. I got these like 2 years ago. They're the steel toe, like black version, waterproof, not really waterproof, water resistant. You know, it's, if you want to get waterproof boots, completely waterproof, get like muck boots. They're just big rubber molded boots. Your feet will never get wet in that because they go up your leg like 2 feet. But if you just want good regular work boots, these are Brunt boots. Steel toe Brunt boots. You don't have to get steel toe, but I did with these. I got another pair of Brunt boots that I showed on Instagram. They're like the nice leather ones, and those ones are awesome. But I only wore them a few times for work, but I'm actually going to dedicate them for like other nicer things, not necessarily detailing, because I don't want them getting gross. I really like them. All right, so everything's all foamed down. Wifey's going to do all the top sections with the wash mitt and the clay towel, the DIY clay towel. And then I'll do all the bottom portions with a separate mitt and a clay bar. If it needs it. I don't even know if it'll need it. It's gritty? Yeah, okay. Okie dokie. Get a piece of clay. I'll show you guys what clay I'm using. Get a nice bucket of hot water, or a little container of hot water. Oh yeah, we're using hot water for washing. It's so good. And we're using hot water in our pressure washer also. It's the hot water version, but even if you don't have the hot water version of the AR Blue 630, you can use hot water in the normal ones, because I think they are rated up to like 110 degrees or something like that. The hot water ones are like 140 or maybe more, maybe 180. I forget now the numbers. But our water heater is a tankless water heater, and it only goes up to 140 or 130. It's set at 130. So that's not bad. So I am claying as I'm washing here. So I'll wash the panel, and then with the lubrication, I am clay barring. And, you know, I learned this technique from Larry Cosella from Ammo NYC. And, man, ever since we started doing this, it just speeds everything up. Some think you're grinding dirt into the paint when you're doing this, but a lot of people are kind of overly concerned with that. And I'm going to stop saying the word overthink, because I do overthink. And I'm overanalyzing things. But the people who say that stuff are not. They're not overthinking. They're actually simply overly concerned. And they're not thinking. Because we already did the pre-wash. The pre-wash gets off all the heavy junk that's going to cause any of that grinding. There's no more grinding. It's just a little bit of film on the paint that's left. Plus, clay barring causes marring anyway. So whether the paint is clean or not, or a little bit of grit, does not matter. It's still going to mar up the paint anyway. You can reach the top with your T-Rex arms. Just barely, huh? Wow. Not a lot of contamination. Yeah, not too bad at all. Just a little bit. Oh, and the bottoms, crap. I just dropped the clay bar. I needed a new piece anyway. Chuck that. All right. New clay bar. That old one was on its way out anyway. Normally, if it does fall like that, if it was like a brand new piece, I would simply examine it and pick out any stuff in it and, just make sure, re-knead it so it's fine. I've done that before and it's not a big deal. It's not a rule that you have to throw it away. That's silly. And I was going to say that the bottom portions have a chip guard texture to it. So it's not, if you hear that noise, that's not contamination, it's the chip guard. Okay. I mean, typical junk in the paint, but not too bad. So it's nice and smooth now. All right, on to wheels. And the wheels are just hubcaps. So like those black stock wheels with hubcaps. So you can't even get into the barrels at all with that. So I'm not really concerned about that. Yes, AM Details clay is awesome. AM Details, AM Details has gone through a lot of change. The actual detailing shop, AM Details in the UK and Scotland, is now dissolved, and it's something else completely. And Alan, who was the previous owner, sold all of those rights. He sold everything, and it's not even AM Detail shop anymore. But the AM Detail product line is still there in the UK. But I don't know how to get it now. I still have products, but Car Supplies Warehouse used to sell them, and I don't think they have much of their stuff anymore, unfortunately. So I don't know where to get it anymore unless you want to pay to get stuff from overseas. But yeah. So these are going to be pretty quick and easy because, again, just hubcaps. I'm using Delete from Vonix. It's a pretty heavy duty rubber and tire, rubber and plastic cleaner. I'm just going to spray it everywhere. Oh, whoops. Did we forget to foam this? Oopsie. Oopsie. The dirtiest parts are just right there in the inside. Oh, thank you. Easiest way is just to use my finger to agitate. Yeah, I'm wearing gloves to keep my hands warm. Not necessarily for chemicals, because that doesn't matter to me much. Hey, tell me if you've ever seen this in detailing videos where someone's wearing gloves and what they do is they dunk their entire hand into the bucket past the glove. What's the point of using gloves if you're doing that? How silly is that? Now you have chemical getting into your glove, staying there in your hand between the rubber and your glove. Huh? That makes no sense. Let me know if you've ever seen people do that. For me, it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to do this if I need to go deep into the bucket. That's silly. That makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, when I hear people or see people doing stuff like that, where they say, always wear gloves, and then they dunk their entire hand into the bucket past the glove. Ugh. All right, I'm not taking any advice from that. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, there's still junk in this gas cap up above here where you can't see unless you're sitting. A little bit more on this. Yeah, it's better. All right. Come on, guys, you're coming with me. This is a weird angle. And hang tight, if you are joining now, I'll be answering questions in a moment, so hold on. Actually, maybe this. Oh, that works a little better on these. Maybe a little bit more aggression on these hubcaps. This thing's got a lot of chips in it. Lots of chips. And I don't mean the yummy, delicious, crunchy kind. Or if here in the UK, what we call fries. All right. Uh-oh, my trigger just broke. Or it got stuck.
You see there's some weird right there.
Yeah.
Is that tar? Oh, what
It's a weird, that is a weird staining. I'm probably gonna have to polish that out. I'm gonna spray the strong degreaser on it and see what happens. You hear the goats?
Yeah.
Oh, they stopped. Just as I stopped to hear them, they stopped bleeding. Okay. Let me just see if... Oh, wow. Wow.
Some sort of sticky.
Yeah, that delete just deleted them.
See what you did there.
See what I did there? This is just a little scrubby pad, like a little blue microfiber with a bug sponge on one side of it. Whatever that was, it's gone now, so that's good. And these seams just need a little bit of agitation, but everything else looking very, very good. All right. Washing and deconning is now done. And I have to remove these gloves before my hands start to sweat too much in them. No, I haven't given up the pre-wash or the APC rinse. Still do it. Like I did on this one. That foam was just APC. It was just super clean, diluted 1:4. And we did that over the entire vehicle before we washed it. I do like the foam better. It cleans better. Sometimes I'll just use the regular pump sprayer and not do the foam. Sometimes the foam doesn't penetrate as much. Sometimes it's just the chemical itself, you know, still diluted 1:4, 1:10, just in a spray, kind of breaks stuff down a little better, but it dries quicker, so I don't use it in the summer. But in the winter, it actually does work better. Just looking at some of the questions and comments and stuff. Nice to have you guys in here. Oh, I never got water inside my gloves. Oh, that's good. Or with gloves and they still wipe their face or scratch. Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you going to do? Sometimes you have to. I know you can do this, but stick their nose in bottles to smell the chemicals. Nice. Yeah, you can use iron remover with towels. That's fine. I don't always use iron remover, especially on our full details like this. You know, sometimes you just don't need to. It's a waste of chemical. You don't always need to use it. So as long as the paint is clean and smooth, that's all you're worried about. I'll really only use iron decon if it's necessary. And even on black vehicles, if the paint is clean and smooth, why use iron remover? You're not going to see it react. You don't know if it's reacting, so you're just kind of using it to feel better about yourself, you know, about the detail, but why? It's kind of silly. Before it came out, people didn't use it, so it's not a big deal. Man, what feels like contamination is just road rash.
I'm gonna get at the blower.
Okay. So we're gonna towel dry, and then wifey's gonna get the blower and blow out all the crevices. Yeah, the grill and door jambs and all this area and the windshield cowl, any seams, just blow out all the water just so things don't drip. And I'm going to be applying a liquid sealant on this too. One that you may be familiar with. Nice. That is the little blow, handheld blower, BLO, blow. And I'm just going to answer any questions you have and you guys have on here. Just go through some of the comments. It's kind of annoying doing it on the phone here. Sometimes I touch the wrong button. Oh, hey, Rick Smith, that was funny. About sitting on the job, I know. I'm my own boss. I make my own rules for my own business. If I need to sit because my knees and back will give out, then I'm going to sit. Because if I don't, my knees and my back will tell me later on. Elbow length gloves in our future. Oh, that would be cool. What is the best product process to use for paint chips? Do you offer it? Yeah, I do. I don't use like Dr. Color Chip or anything like that. Even though some customers, if they buy it themselves, I'll do it. I'll use that system because it is a really nice system. But I usually just get the paint and just touch it up with little brushes, and that's about it. Because I'm not dealing with like, you know, super expensive cars here. Most of it is daily drivers, so just touch it up because they're going to get chips again. So it's a never-ending battle. So I don't worry too much about that. Sometimes we use a bigger blower, but we only use the bigger blower on ceramic coated cars where it's large panels that are beating water. And I'll take the big Ego blower, the big like 700 something CFM one, and go through the whole vehicle, just blow off all the majority of the water. And then we'll go through with a towel and maybe even a little blower to get out the crevices. Because a big blower doesn't do well for crevices. That little thing does. It does great for crevices. That's why we'll towel dry it, because there's no beating on the paint at all. There's no protection, there's nothing on it, so it's flat. And blowing flat paint like that does nothing. It doesn't push the water, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't dry it. So towel dry, and then use the blower. Oh, use those black hair ties. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I'd never thought of that. Black hair ties, or any hair ties in general. Yeah, that's a cool tip. I like that. That's really cool. I'll have to try that tip. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I actually did that the other day. I put Super Clean in a foam cannon that I don't normally use for soap because I have so many foam cannons. And I just diluted Super Clean in that and foamed the whole vehicle down. It was a really gross truck that we did. That does work really well too. See if I missed anything, guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. Wear flip-flops? That's funny. Yeah, and it was a little chilly this morning, but now I'm starting to get warmed up from working, and now I'm getting hot. Cool. Oh, what did we use to cover the cap on that job? Let me show you. I'll bring you guys inside the shop here. Oh, and Wifey is now blow drying the engine bay. So when you do that with the dressing on it, it's nice. It actually will even out the dressing in the engine bay. This little guy right here. Just buy them on Amazon. Search for capless gas tank cover, and you'll see these. They come usually like a pack of 2 sometimes, but there are different sizes, so you may need to get different sizes. But these do stretch. You know, they stretch enough to cover a slightly larger size, but I think this is like I think it says 2.5 inch. It says inside here, 2.5 inch. You can get bigger ones. You can get maybe slightly smaller ones. I chose kind of in the middle, and it seems to work on almost every car that, I mean, it has worked on every car that I've used it on, so it works really well. Yeah, a couple of different sizes. Good tip. Yep. Find them between every woman client seats, black hair ties. I wouldn't use those necessarily. I'd get brand new ones, but you know, you do you. Yeah, all right, cool. So what we're gonna do is do the interior now. I'm gonna take these gloves off because my hands are just starting to sweat in them, and once they start sweating, that's when I run into trouble and my hands will start to break out, and I need to like wash my hands right away also. But we're gonna do the interior, knock the interior out, and then I'll be back on in a little bit and show you guys what we're gonna do for the exterior. So stick around. It'll probably be about an hour or so, or maybe less. Interior isn't too bad, so it shouldn't take us too long. And then we'll show you what we're gonna use. Actually, I'll just show you now, and then you can see how we apply it and what it looks like. We're not doing any polishing here, so we are going to be using our 15 millimeter throw polisher, but we're not going to be polishing it. But it does add some gloss and slightly polish the paint a little bit, because any type of mechanical action with a foam pad, even a soft foam pad, is doing some sort of polishing action to the paint. But our Glossum wax, this is a hybrid wax. It's got a ton of stuff in it, from Teflon to Carnauba to who knows what else, that Phoenix EOD formulated. And it's just a good, strong synthetic sealant. That's basically what it is. Teflon infused. It has Teflon in it, which, you know, it's kind of an older tech. It's not ceramic at all, but it still holds up. It is still an awesome sealant. A lot of detailers still use synthetic sealants that are not ceramic based and just polymer based, Teflon based, whatever it may be. They are still awesome, awesome sealants, providing great protection, slickness, water beating, all that good stuff. And it's formulated to get about, depending on how the car is cared for, I always tell the customers 3 to 6 months. It's a wide range, but if you're not doing much to your car, not really caring for it, maybe 3 months. But if you're washing it regularly, then you can get about 6 months out of this. So it just kind of all depends. But we'll show you the application of that. Very straightforward and easy, enjoyable to use. And it just produces really good results. Very glossy, slick, and it's good stuff. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've used a paste wax. I do have some too. I have the turtle wax stuff, and then I got this stuff. This stuff is actually very good. This is the Firefly from North Star, Firefly paste wax. This stuff is pretty hardcore. It's a hybrid of all sorts of stuff, and the guy who made it is a detailer himself, and he formulated it himself. Really, really cool. And we also have the, I forget what these are called, the Fuso Coat waxes. So the one for white paint and the one for black paint, which I find kind of funny because, you know, you can use either of them on either color. It doesn't really matter that much, but some people think it does, and it doesn't really. They say, oh, it makes the darker colors darker, the whiter is brighter. I don't think so, but whatever. So we'll do that in a moment. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll sign off right now, and we'll be back in a little bit.